In America, more than 70 people are thought to have died after a series of tornadoes hit several states. Kentucky has been worst affected, with the governor saying it's been one of the toughest nights in the state's history. In all, 30 tornadoes were reported across a large swathe of the southeast. Nomia Iqbal has the full story.
The US National Weather Service had issued several tornado warnings for multiple US states. In Illinois, this Amazon warehouse was ripped apart by the storm after the roof partially collapsed. Emergency responders have been working through the night. Up to 100 people are inside the building. They had been on the night shift in the run-up to Christmas. Their family members have been trying to find them.
He was on the phone with me while it was happening. The tornado was hitting the back of the building. The trucks were coming in. I told him to jump out the truck and duck.
I decided to come down here to see what was going on. I had no idea the building looked that bad, and I'm worried sick. I just want to know if he's okay.
Tornadoes tore a path through 200 miles, hitting the small town of Mayfield.
It's one thing when we know the potential of the atmosphere. It's another thing when it actually becomes a reality. This was a bank. That's what's left of the fire department. There used to be 2 stories to that building. Now there's 1.
A black cylinder swept across the ground, slamming into a candle factory. The governor fears dozens may have been killed inside.
This will be, I believe, the deadliest tornado system to ever run through Kentucky. Now, earlier this morning at about 5 a.m., we were pretty sure that we would lose over 50 Kentuckians. I'm now certain that that number is north of 70. It may, in fact, end up exceeding 100.
In Arkansas, the storm hit a nursing home, killing at least 1 person, injuring several and trapping more than a dozen others inside. Local reports have described it as a mass casualty event. One official called it heartbreaking. Millions of Americans are being urged to prepare for weather alerts nationwide as the storm continues to wreak havoc across the country. Nomia Iqbal, BBC News, Washington.
In the US, up to 100 people are feared dead after tornadoes struck in at least 6 states overnight. Most of the victims were in Kentucky, which saw the worst twisters in the state's history. At least 4 touched down there and swept along for hundreds of miles, destroying everything in their paths. Our US correspondent Emma Murphy has the latest.
They are describing it as Kentucky's ground zero. It's not hard to see why. The winds tore the roof from this candle factory as hundreds worked overtime to be ready for Christmas. How many died is not yet clear, but already the death toll is being predicted to be more than 100 here and elsewhere.
I think the largest loss of life in this tornado event is and will be there, and it may end up being the largest loss of life in any tornado event in a single location, again, in the state's history.
Nature delivered a catastrophe on a scale which has not been seen before in this part of the United States. The tornadoes, which tore across 5 states in America's Midwest and South, brought death along a 200-mile path. The rescue work, the recovery work got underway before dawn, but it will be many days before all those who were lost or trapped in the devastation can be accounted for. The tornadoes had been warned of, but there was nothing that could have been done to prevent and little that could have been done to protect. They've suffered the consequences before, but not at this level, and there remain warnings of more to come. Emma Murphy, ITV News, in the United States.